Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Kato and I am so happy to be back with another video using the 3D embossing folder of the month from Spellbinders, and I'm going to be making a cute little Halloween card. So this is the 3D embossing folder of the month. It's a field full of pumpkins and sunflowers. It's gorgeous, and 3D embossing folders add so much dimension to your projects. I really love using them in the background. The other die that I'm using is the Spellbinders Essential Arches die set, and I'll be cutting out an arch first. This is, I think, the third arch down. And I'm going to be spritzing that with water on both sides and dabbing away any excess moisture so it's not too wet when it passes through my die cutting machine, but spritzing it with a little bit of water before putting it through the embossing folder is going to make it so your paper doesn't crack, or is a lot less likely to crack in places. I am using Nina Solar White cardstock for this, and I do let it dry because I did spritz it with water, so I do let it dry for a little bit before I add my ink blending on top. I have all of my inks here in my Inkstand Mini. I love using that, especially for small little ink cubes. It definitely helps to keep your fingers clean. And I am using Concord 9th inks to add a ton of color to this background. I'm going to cover the entire thing, going from light orange and light pink to a darker pink and a darker orange. Now, the darker orange that I'm using is discontinued. It is still my favorite orange. It's called Marmalade from Concord 9th. If you can still find it somewhere, please order it, because it's going to be your favorite orange too, probably. It's so fun and vibrant. But if you order it, order me another one as well. I would love another one as a backup. I'm applying all of this with some blending brushes. I really love blending brushes. They're just so easy to work with. I never really got the hang of the foams, but luckily for me, these came out just as I started really getting into ink blending. So I never really had to struggle with the foams to make them work for me. I switched to the brushes quite quickly. Once the ink blending is done, I let that sit just for a little bit, and then I am using my new favorite product, which are the Distress Spritz sprays. These are some really fun mica sprays, and they have colored mica in them. So I am doing a tone on tone here. So I am spraying some of the orange mica on the orange part and some pink mica on the pink part, and that is just going to add a really fun shimmer and glitter. It's so gorgeous in real life. I'm absolutely obsessed with these sprays. Now, to really finish this background, I am going to add a little bit of white splatter. This is just some white gouache paint that I put on a little palette there. I will try to remember to add pink or white gouache to my product list. But yeah, it's a really good product to have in your stash for little things like this. The little doggy that I'm going to use is from the Woof-or-Treat die set from Spellbinders. It is such a cute little Halloween die set. So you cut out a little ghost or a little sheet to make your dog dress up as a ghost. It is absolutely adorable. Now, you do have to remember to adhere the inside part of the ears. There's a die for that. Adhere those before you adhere on your sheet or your ghost layer. I forgot I had to peel it off, but I was just in time to not ruin my piece and have to cut a new one. I'm using Barely Art Precision Craft Glue to adhere everything together. This image comes together really easily. It's a little bit hard to see what I'm doing here because the paper I'm using is Mushroom from Concord 9th, and it is almost exactly the shade of my cutting mat, so it was a little tricky to film this. It also comes with a little pumpkin basket to go trick-or-treating, and I am adhering that together, and once that's done, I'm adhering that first onto my ghost sheet, and the little mouth of the dog is going to go over top it so it looks like he's carrying it in his mouth. I layered up each one of these die cuts, so each piece has 2 layers, with one being just white cardstock underneath it, so it is a little bit thicker, a little bit sturdier. I just really like the look of it, and die cuts are also really a lot easier to handle and to manipulate if they have a little bit of extra bulk to them. To make my card base, I'm going to be making a shaped card base, and I do that by just cutting a nesting die. This is again from the Arches, the Essential Arches die set, the largest die from that. I cut 2 of those, and in one of them, I am putting a score line. I will be adding glue to all the parts above the score line and adhering the other piece on top. This is just going to create a little folding flap, and it's going to give you plenty of space still to write inside of the card, and you're not going to be seeing any seams on the front of your card. The only fold you see will be on the back. So a really easy way to create shaped cards with any nesting dies. Once that card base is done, I am going to adhere some more of that mushroom cardstock from Concord 9th right on top of the card base, just to cover the entire thing. If you're wondering about any ink colors or paper colors that I used for this project, you will find them all in the supply list down below. If you would rather see the visual supply list, there's a link for that as well. I'm doing those fancy visual supply lists now where you can see the pictures of all the products that I used, and that makes it a little bit easier to find them. I'm adhering everything on top. I adhered the 3D embossed panel with some foam tape because it's a lot easier to adhere all of that dimensional paper with foam tape, to be honest, and it also is a nice look to have a little bit of dimension between that panel and the card base. I am adhering that little doggy with some foam tape on a arch of vellum, so I cut a smaller arch with that same die set, and I will be adding some glue all behind the puppy, and then I can adhere that on top of that 3D embossed background. All that's left to do is add a sentiment, and I am taking a sentiment that I've already prepared. This is from the All Seasons Autumn Sentiments press plate and die set. So it presses or foils. I foiled these sentiments on black cardstock. I think 10 sentiments at once, and it cuts them all out at once, so it's really easy to mass produce a couple of sentiments. These are all autumn themed. There are a couple of Halloween sentiments in there, not too many, and the rest is all perfect for Thanksgiving cards and autumn cards. Really fun. I'm finishing this up with a couple of embellishments, some silver gems and pink glitter drops from Pink Fresh Studio. These are also linked in the supply list if you're curious. And that's it. A really, really cute, shimmery Halloween card. I really love an orange and pink combo for Halloween, and I just really enjoy making Halloween cards. I do this spiel every year, but it's my favorite thing in card making Halloween cards, because they can be over the top and they're going to look exactly right. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you want to see more of the Spellbinders clubs of September, I have a video going over a couple of the clubs, all of the clubs that I received to work with. And I also have a video already out for the large die of the month. The next video for the Spellbinders clubs for September will probably be posted on Monday, maybe Tuesday, and it will be for the small die of the month. So stay tuned for that. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already to be notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!